I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. Mate, let me tell you, it's all good, it's all good, it's all so fucking good, man. What could be so good, I hear you wonder? I know you're curious, considering my circumstances and surroundings. What could possibly be so fucking good? Well, I'll tell you, it's all good. It's all so good because my mate Terry, yeah, me old mucker, my bona fide brethren, he's on his visit, ain't he? Well, you know what that means, don't ya? We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. Now, visits are any day of the week, the majority over the weekends, with Sundays being the busiest. Friends, family, kids, all crowding out the visiting hall, which meant that security couldn't possibly keep eyes on everyone. They certainly couldn't search everyone. It would take way too long, which means that man and man would slip through neatly with their tings, and the wind would be all cushy for a little bit, you know what I mean? Now, I know this might sound a bit awkward, but if you're going to cop on a visit, then you've got to plug it. That way, if you get a strip search, they won't find it. If they made you squat, holding onto your bollocks over a mirror, they still won't find it because, sorry, I've just lost my jacket. They won't find it as long as you plugged it properly. And my mate Terry, how can I put this? My mate Terry had a large capacity, you get me? One decent visit and that little man could supply the whole wing, I swear down. He was proper gifted. I reckon he'd get a flat screen up there if you put his mind to it. Don't be silly, TV ain't been invented yet. Terry, my mate Terry. The first thing you'd notice about him is his teddy boy quiff, perfectly sculptured. He had this OCD relationship with his hair, comb always at the ready like he was an extra on Grease Lightning or something. How did we ever become friends? We're total opposites in every way. Me, regular down the gym, powerlifting, banging the weights. Terry, skinny little fucker, allergic to physical exercise. Me, I like to read and study. You know what I mean? You've got to HR, otherwise old pedagogy will get groggy. Terry spends his time looking at porno magazines or drawing and colouring in. Whereas I've always been a bit of a soul boy, the jazz funk, the rare groove, little bit of lovers rock, dancehall. Terry was a rockabilly throwback, with the hair and the turn-up collar and shit, doing the bop round the cell whenever a little bit of rock and roll come over the tranny. Well, look about, ooh wee. Nothing in common apart from the fact that we're both doing a stretch. Oh yeah, and the puff. Now, I am of the utmost conviction that the Most High in His holy wisdom put the ganja upon the plantation as a form of compensation for the utter fuckeries and mockeries of life. And it would be a sacrilege for me not to partake. And seeing that I ain't got no one out there to come up and visit me and drop me a parcel, it was a bit of a touch getting tucked up with Terry, you get me? But it wasn't only the visits. Look, I've been banged up with all sorts of bods doing this bit of burden, I can tell you. There's only two sorts of people in this life, my life. Those who suck the soul out of the day and those who made the day. And Terry makes the day. It took me a little while to realise it because, he gets on my nerves and on the fucking regular. But Terry is definitely a day maker. We mostly get on. We have a laugh and a giggle. He can be a right entertaining little cunt at times. We banter and we bicker, we fucking fight and we make up, we talk shit and we play cards, and at night we get high. Now, I may have had a little dabble here and there in the past, but I've never really been into the A class. Not really. And nor was Terry. Not at first. Drug addiction ran through his family like a perpetual flow of diarrhea, and he wanted nothing to do with it. Now, when we first get banged up together, his only vice was hashish and biscuits. Fucker always had biscuits. He traded in biscuits. Many times it was Terry's biscuits that got us a nightcap when we was feeling dry a bit. When we were feeling a bit dry, I can tell you. For it's a truth universally accepted that a prisoner afflicted with the munchies can be persuaded to part with a little piece of his hashes or a couple of packet of chocolate hobnobs and a packet of Jaffa cakes. What, just before bang up? Trust me. But then Terry got his heart broke, didn't he? And he developed this weird reaction to whenever he had a puff. He just wasn't enjoying it like he usually does. He tried, He really fucking tried, but after about a dozen or so mini psychotic episodes, we had to accept that puffing was making him way too paranoid, which was a bit of a shame, really. Right, so that was just one bit. So, so that was like the introduction. So it's a little one-man show that I've written over lockdown. It's called Something to Take Off the Edge. It's about two geezers, Ezra and Terry. They're doing Bird back in the 80s. They're doing long-term prison sentences. And this is about their flirtations with hashish, heroin, chocolate hobnobs and Shakespeare. Right, so that was a little bit that I've memorised using FocusMate. Does anyone else here use FocusMate? Listen, if you've got problems with procrastination and putting stuff off and you can't focus for 50 minutes, it's called FocusMate. So you go online, you just, log on to FocusMate. It's like a £5 a month, first 3 weeks are free. And they give you a person. So you just say what time you want to do something for 50 minutes, whether it's writing, bloody meditating, tidying up your cupboard, press-ups, whatever it might be. That's if you can do press-ups for 50 minutes, whatever it might be, and they give you a person from somewhere in the world, and for the first minute you talk about what you want to achieve in the 50 minutes, and then you do 50 minutes, then you say whether you achieved it, and then you fuck off, you know what I mean? But I've done so much. Anyway, that's not part of my time. That was a public service. So anyway, so we're moving on a bit. So there's all that going on, and there's some other stuff going on, and you know what I mean. I mentioned something about Terry getting his heart broke. Yeah. So here we go. Princess Tiffany, his bona fide, his princess, a proper gypsy princess according to Terry. They've been together since they were 12, some 15 years. She was part of the traveller community, and they were close. Might have even been second or distant cousins from what I could gather. Well, because they had aunts and uncles in common. She had fuck all herself and his peeps were unreliable to say the least. But she'd go round, she'd badger them for cash, she'd pick up the hash boys parcel, which she'd smuggle up on a visit, sometimes an eye-watering £0.5 bar, and once in a while, a couple of Ray and nephews, if we were lucky. I mean, the miniature ones, obviously, because you know what I mean. She was devoted to him, loyal and reliable. I saw it coming a mile off. She started missing visits. The letters slowed to a trickle and then stopped altogether, which was a right shame, really, because my boy's reading had really started to pick up. Come on, we all know what's up. If your bird suddenly goes AWOL, there's only one reason. It's because she's getting dicked down by next man, obviously, and that is not a thought you want to highlight in a man's head. So I avoided speculating with Terry as to what could be going on with his princess. And anyway, I could be wrong. Of course I'm right, but it might be just a little bit, it might be just a little bit of nothing, you know, a little fling. I mean, a girl has needs, you get me? And if we don't make too much of a big deal about it, if we don't get all melodramatic, it will fizzle out, and the letters, and just as importantly, the parcels will start coming again. Oh yeah, Terry couldn't read. Maybe I should have told you this before. Terry couldn't read, and Ezra helped him learns to read. But anyway, that's the juicy part of the story, which I'm not doing here. Next time I come, I'll do it. Patches of sweat are formed on the back of his t-shirt. There is a sheen of it coating his forehead. Droplets threaten to fall any second. The effort he is exerting shows in his eyes, and is nothing short of phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal, I tell you, and I'm so fucking proud of my boy. No, he's not going through drug withdrawals. He wasn't even using at this stage. That's yet to come. He's not working out. Lazy fucker never works out. No, Terry's reading an actual book, a proper book, all by himself. The title, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, by Dr. Seuss. Fucking classic. I'm challenging him to read the whole thing to me out loud. And then there's that sound from under the door, and Terry dives for his long-awaited letter. The usually bright-coloured envelope is now a dull brown. Definitely her handwriting, but no drawings on the envelope like usually there is. No whiff of perfume as he opens it. No flower petals or silver and gold glittery stars. No love arts. Just a single sheet of paper folded in half. I know what this is. I already told you, didn't I? I saw it coming a mile off. I braced myself as he unfolds a sheet of paper, but he just stares at it. I know how he feels. His mind is fucked. He can't compute what he's looking at. Give it here. He hands it over. He looks like he's about to burst. I tell him, breathe for fuck's sake. Ezra, Don't fucking tell me what to fucking do, alright? Alright, cool, brother, but just breathe, please. I get as far as, dear Terry, and he's straight on it. Fucking dear Terry? What the fuck is she on about, Ed? Who the fuck is dear Terry? Fucking read it, yeah? Fucking read it out loud, yeah, brother? Because that shit won't make no sense reading it in the head, I can tell ya. Dear Terry, sorry I haven't written to you in a long while, but... Yeah, but what? But fucking what? Come on, Ed, but fucking what? Come on, let's hear it. Read it out, loud! His eyes are mad, his movements manic. Read it out! Alright, well fucking shut up and let me read it then. This doesn't register. He's like, okay, fuck it, I'll read it. What, like I can't fucking read? Give me it, give me it! I give him it. He takes a shuddering breath. Dear Terry, and then he starts blubbering. Oh, for fuck's sake, this is getting ridiculous. What I really want to say is, bro, don't fucking lose it over a bit of fickle fanny. Then we can discuss the word fickle. You know, get the dictionary. No, this is in the 80s. This is locker room talk. You know? Where was I? See, you lot made me lose my space now. Oh, for fuck's sake, this is getting ridiculous. What I really want to say is, bro, don't fucking lose it over a bit of fickle fanny. Then we can discuss the word fickle. You know, get the dictionary out. He loves a new word, does Terry. But something tells me that he ain't in the mood for that right now. Terry, give me the letter, let me just fucking read it one time, yeah? And he's like, yeah, Ez, one time, yeah? One time for your motherfucking mind, come on. I have no idea where that come from. Then he starts crooning softly to himself. Soon after 8, I'm running late. I jump in my ride, headed for the west side. I pick up the phone. I think he's trying to soothe himself. I don't know, but it's freaking me out a lot. Terry, what are you fucking doing? Fucking stop that shit, you cunt. Come on, you know what this is, bro. Fix up, you're stronger than this. He sits on the floor, stiff with his back against the cell door, elbows on knees, holding the sides of his head. And I read in as neutral voice as I can. Dear Terry, sorry I haven't written in so long. I've had a few changes in my life. I've been doing some thinking about things, about us. I always said I would be honest with you, Terry, and there's no easy way to tell you this, but I've met someone and he's asked me to move in with him. Things have happened so fast, Terry. His name is Paul. He's just a normal bloke. He fixes televisions. I really hope that you can be happy for him. I stop because Terry has stopped listening. He's banging the back of his head against the cell door, as if each bang would jolt the words from his frontal lobes into the reptilian parts of his brain where things are sorted without any emotions involved. I put some bedding behind his head to lessen the impact. Do you want me to ring the bell? He's like, nah. We both know that this time they'll definitely nut him off. Well, you need to stop banging, bro. They're gonna come. Can you just fucking do something, man? What do you want me to do? Just read. Okay, well, there's not much more. She just wants you to understand. No, fuck that, brother, right? Just read some of your Shakespeare, bro. A fucking prayer, I don't know, what, some of that spoken word, proper words, anything, bro. Ezra, read something, please. Okay. I grab hold of my Bible like it's an emergency first aid kit. I open it up randomly, and I start shelling. The Lord builds up Jerusalem. He gathers the exiles of Israel. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. He determines the number of the stars and calls them each by name. Great is our Lord and mighty in power. His understanding has no limit. The Lord sustains the humble but casts the wicked to the ground. Nothing like a long prison sentence to get you back to God. Anyway, that and pain, you know what I mean? Two things. The Lord sustains the humble but casts the wicked to the ground, etc., etc. Maybe I should have said it, etc., bit out. I mean, faith. And while Terry sat on the floor silently weeping his heart out, I read to him the entire book of Psalms into the early hours of the morning. He eventually falls asleep there on the floor. He's got a blanket, but I can't just leave him there. He'll catch a fucking draft. Plus the floors are hard, man. I lift him up like a child and I put him to bed. A dear John can take out the best of us. It was touch and go there for a while, I can tell you. I'd look at him and I'd see that unbearable, helpless heartbreak deep in his wounded eyes. However, he kind of got past it. I don't think he ever got over it, but he got through it. I'd see him gazing into space every now and then, but I saw it as a rear view mirror type gazing. You know, the image of his Tiffany slowly but surely fading into the distance and past. However, this was the heartbreak that started Terry using. I mean, the hash just wasn't doing it for him anymore. In fact, it was making him worse. And if ever a man needed something to take off the edge, Terry's that man. Skag in prison, readily available. Okay, maybe not so readily. You should have seen the place when there's a drought. So much fucking cucking that you think you've been banged up in the chicken farm. But it's much easier for bods to smuggle in than the hashish. Much easier to pass the piss test. I felt helpless. I couldn't stop him. You know, he's a grown man. I couldn't force him not to smoke heroin. Don't look at me like that, Ez. I ain't a fucking skaghead. This is cut to fuck. Impossible to get addicted to it. Well, that's where he was wrong. One day, a month or so later, during association, I'm sitting in the cell. I'm writing to one of my pen friends. Over the years, I've connected with some great people through the prison pen pal service. He comes in and he asks me the date. April. It's April the 1st. Oh, pinch punch, first day of the month and all that. I'm like, yeah. Listen, he says, I need you to help me write a letter. Who to? Tiffany. You know, just to let her go, wish her the best. I'm like, all right, brother, wicked. What do you want me to say? Just tell her she's a fucking whore and I hope she dies of AIDS. Whoa, what the fuck, Terry? Ha! April Fool, gotcha, you cunt. Ha! You want to see the look on your boat? Bro, that ain't even funny, for fuck's sake. Yeah, you still fell for it though, didn't ya? Why do you think I asked you for the date? It's like I warned you it was coming and you still fell for it. You're a dickhead. Terry, you're the bloody dickhead. Nah, but seriously though, I mean, I made her a poem. You made a poem. Let me see it. It's in my head. What, you want to hear it? Go on then. Okay, all right, here goes. I was so broke, man, it was bugging me. All this poverty was just mugging me. And then temptation came tugging at me, and then it all came on top so subtly. Repeat offender recidivist, put in prison you visited. You found a man to be there for you, someone to love and to care for you and do all the things that I can't do. Since we were kids, you've been hugging me. You got a right to a happy life, so Tiffany, thank you for loving me. I literally can't hold it together. He's like, what's the matter with you? You soppy cunt. Screw shouts, phone up, 15 minutes. He's like, oh shit. He dives under the bed, snatches a couple of packets of biscuits, a carton of juice, half an ounce of Old Holborn from his box of valuables. He cuts the tobacco in half with a razor blade. He hides the other bit under his pillow, and then he runs off to trade it all for a Joey. Joey's a little